I get a lot of requests from my Indian friends to come to India, so I decided to make this video with my honest thoughts on the country, which is a love-hate relationship. I spent 3 months backpacking solo around India in early 2015, and my experience overall was worthwhile and memorable. So I'm here in Mumbai. In total, I visited 13 cities, 8 states, and I covered a distance of 4,700 kilometers. I traveled strictly by land, from Goa to Mumbai, through Rajasthan, up to Amritsar, and finally the Himalayas. India is both challenging and inspiring, like a roller coaster of ups and downs, a sensory overload, a giant mix of good versus bad, happy versus evil, and everything is thrown at you in the face at the same time. I learned more about myself in those 3 months than the last 3 years. Nothing about that trip was luxury. I slept in budget hotels, ate street food, took the cheapest trains and buses to get around whenever I wasn't driving myself, and most of all, I walked and walked and walked and walked. More than 20,000 steps a day. I wanted the full experience. This was before I made videos like I do today, but luckily I filmed some things on my GoPro, which is the footage you are seeing over my narration. The highlights of my trip to India were celebrating Holi festival in Goa with all-night raves on the beach, temple hopping in Hampi, seeing the Wagah border ceremony in Amritsar, starring in a Bollywood film, playing cricket with youngsters, admiring the Taj Mahal, going on a 3-day camel trek in Jaisalmer, and relaxing in Rishikesh. Once again, my trip to India was very valuable, and I have no regrets about the experience. The people are overly nice, the food is tasty, and the sights are very unique. I believe I saw India as well as anyone can in 3 months. That being said, I haven't been back to India over the last few years for the following 3 reasons. Overwhelming attention, severe food poisoning, and a near-death experience. Overwhelming attention. India is intense for someone like myself who has red hair and white skin. I also stand out in places around Africa, but I was less anxious because I had room to breathe. In India, I get swarmed by people from the second I step outside my hotel until I get back. We're talking about 1.4 billion people. Food poisoning. Unfortunately, I was brutally food poisoned 3 times within 3 months. Food poisoning in India is 10 times worse than I've had elsewhere. Hands and knees down on the bathroom floor, throwing up profusely, and so weak that I couldn't crawl into bed. Near-death experience. One evening in Rajasthan, I boarded an overnight bus from Udaipur to Jodhpur, where I was the only foreigner on board. About an hour in, as I was about to fall asleep, the bus driver slammed on the brakes and sharply turned the wheel, and the bus flipped off the highway and was in pieces. My life flashed before my eyes. I was covered in glass and dirt from head to toe and had bloody elbows and feet, but I was thankfully okay. 2 people on that bus didn't make it out alive. This was my Snapchat the following morning after this catastrophic event. I would love to give India another chance this year with new perspectives and a more optimistic attitude. If I do end up going back, which places should I visit? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. I'm Binsky, and if you like my travel videos, please click subscribe and join me as I plan to visit every country in the world.